The Rambler Network.
Good morning! Welcome back to The Digressor. I'm Trevor, and in this episode, I'm talking about Anne Frank. Anne Frank was born in Frankfurt, Germany on the 12th of June, 1929. Her parents, Otto and Edith Frank, were part of a well-educated, close-knit Jewish community. Anne had an older sister, Margot, who was quiet, intelligent, and obedient, often seen as the model child, and by contrast was full of energy and opinions. She had a big personality and a sharp wit, which she often used to challenge those around her, even her teachers. In 1934, after Adolf Hitler came to power in Germany and anti-Semitism exploded in Germany, Otto moved his family to Amsterdam, believing they'd be safer there. For a while, life was good, and made friends, went to school, and even talked about one day becoming a writer or a movie star. But then in 1940, the Nazis invaded the Netherlands, and the walls started closing in again. Jews were banned from public schools, forced to wear yellow stars, and barred from public life. On the 12th of June, 1942, Anne received a diary for her 12th birthday, which she immediately started writing in. She named it Kitty. Her first entry reads, "I hope I will be able to confide everything to you, as I have never been able to confide in anyone, and I hope you will be a great source of comfort and support." Over the following month, she wrote in detail about her life, including people in her class and school drama. Shortly after, the Frank family went into hiding after Margot received a summons to report to a so-called work camp. Their hiding place was a concealed annex above Otto's office building. They were joined by four others, Herman and August Van Peltz, their teenage son, Peter, and later a dentist named Fritz Pfeiffer. 8 people in total. Life in the annex was tense and quiet. During the day, they had to stay completely still. No flushing toilets, no walking in shoes, no speaking above a whisper. Anne had to grow up quickly in that confined space, wrestling with fear, boredom, and the emotional complexities of being a teenager surrounded by adults under pressure. In one heartbreaking passage from her diary, dated 19 November 1942, she writes, "I feel wicked sleeping in a warm bed, while somewhere out there my dearest friends are dropping from exhaustion or being knocked to the ground. I get frightened myself when I think of close friends who are now at the mercy of the cruelest monsters ever to stalk the earth, and all because they're Jews." She often clashed with her mother, Edith, whom she felt didn't understand her. Anne was also surprisingly honest about the frustrations of being stuck with so many different personalities in such a small space. She had mixed feelings toward the Van Pels family, admiring Peter at first, then becoming disillusioned, then growing close again in a kind of quiet adolescent romance. She documented it all. But the annex wasn't entirely without kindness or courage. Several brave employees of Otto's business helped keep them alive. Miep Gies and her husband Jan, Johannes Kleeman, Victor Kugler, and Babe Vaskel. These people risked everything, bringing food, supplies, even books, at great personal danger. They never expected fame or thanks. They just knew it was right. Then, on 4th of August, 1944, the annex was raided. Someone, no one knows who to this day, betrayed the residents of the secret annex. They were arrested and deported. Anne and Margot were eventually sent to Bergen-Belsen, a concentration camp in Germany. Conditions were horrific: starvation, disease, cold. Both girls died of typhus in early 1945. Anne was 15 years old. Their father, Otto Frank, was the only one of the 8 to survive. When he returned to Amsterdam, Miep Gies gave him Anne's diary. She had found it after the raid and kept it safe. Otto read it and was astonished, not just by her talent, but by her heart, her honesty, and her clarity. He had it published in 1947, and the world hasn't stopped reading it since. Anne once wrote, "When I write, I can shake off all my cares." And write she did, about fear and freedom, anger and forgiveness, longing and love. In the cramped space of the hidden annex, she managed to find space for reflection and even joy. And perhaps what's most remarkable, she wasn't just writing for herself. She edited her entries. She dreamed of publishing her story after the war. She wanted to make a difference, and she has. Anne Frank's life was short, but her impact, immeasurable. She wasn't a saint. She was a teenager, curious, emotional, imperfect, and that's what makes her voice so human. She reminds us that wisdom isn't about age, that empathy can survive fear, that even in the darkest rooms, light can still shine. But I digress.
The Rambler Network.